got my microphone. I'm already starting this off great. Okay, so what's up, everybody, to the Casual Dad Gamer channel where dorky-ass dads play video games horribly together. I'm your host, Mike, and thank you so much for joining us. So this is, we are going to be doing the live stream to Diablo 4. That should be starting in about 9 minutes. So let's take this time to kind of go over what they've already announced during the opening ceremony. We actually got a lot more content than I was expecting, and it seems that the general consensus on the floor and stuff like that, like during the interviews, a lot of the big streamers also felt the same way, which is pretty cool. It means that they're really kind of doubling down on what they're doing with Diablo 4, the future of Diablo 4, and that kind of thing, which is very encouraging and very cool. So yeah, let's go over the summary of announcements so far. So, first and foremost, there is more Season 2 content incoming. This cannot be stressed enough. It sounds like there's a lot of stuff lined up leading up to Season 3. So we're going to go over those things. So, first of all, they announced class-specific Malignant Rings that will bring back some of the more requested powers from Season 1's Malignant Hearts. They specifically called out the Necromancer, who was able to auto corpse explode, auto minion control, that kind of thing. So that's clearly going to be one of them. I'm expecting that during the live stream they're going to be going over that as well. But that's very cool. And it also gives us hope that maybe Season 2 powers will be coming into the next or future iterations of seasons and Eternal Realm content. Maybe they'll do vampiric powers in some kind of an item, but anyways, so that's a very cool way that they're doing it, and I'm glad that they're kind of like bridging these seasons together in minor ways. Very cool. So the second thing that they talked about, the occultist will now have an enchanting preview window of what potential affixes can be rolled before you spend your gold. This is something that I was wondering why I was never in the game from the beginning. I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way. That was something in Diablo 3 that was super, super helpful. And, you know, I didn't know I'd miss it until it was missing in Diablo 4. And I'm very glad that the occultist, even though that may seem like a minor tweak, that's going to be something that's very, very helpful. Especially, you know, it can get very expensive re-rolling your fixes and enchantments and that kind of thing. So, like, it's very helpful that they're able to, so you're able to see those things before you start spending all that money and resources. Okay, so the next two things are kind of cool, like almost pinnacle content type stuff that they're adding during the Season 2, Season of Blood. So the first thing, the Abattoir of Zir. It's going to be a 6-week-long, highly replayable pinnacle event for high-level players, which starts difficult. This is quote, starts difficult, it only gets harder. And then I saw an interview with Riker, a really, really good streamer. Follow him for a lot of Diablo 4, kind of like Blizzard stuff. But he had a sit-down talk with one of the game devs, and basically he called out the ball lightning sorcerer, that build that seems to be OP broken right now. They called out specifically and said, hey, bring your ball lightning sorcerer and see how good you actually are. So clearly the Abattoir of Zir is supposed to be for those level 100 characters that want to keep going and keep getting better and better stuff. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, because he drops a Paragon Glyph. And apparently this Paragon Glyph not only can be level to level 50, I think they said, or it was indicated in one of the interviews, but it also has dramatic multiplicative percentage bonuses to, you know, the nodes around it and stuff like that. It sounds like it's already a dirty, dirty, dirty item that only gets amazingly dirtier after that. By dirty, I mean, and this is a term that a friend of mine used to use whenever we played Diablo together. Dirty just means that it's so stupid powerful, it just seems dirty and unfair. And it sounds like that's what this glyph is going to be all about. So that is very fun. Looking forward to putting my ball lightning sorcerer to the task of that. And then, so that's going to be a 6-week long event during season 2. Also during season 2, I think it's going to be for about 3 weeks. It's called the Midwinter Blight. It's a Christmas themed event that transforms the Fractured Peaks into a horrific winter horror land with a mention of a red cloaked creature roaming the land. So obviously it's going to be a play like a demonic Santa Claus or something like that. Hilarious. That starts on December 12th. This kind of stuff is really fun. It reminds me of, and I don't even remember the name of it in World of Warcraft, but it was like once or twice a year. There was like a beer event, and then there was another kind of like holiday themed kind of thing, like solstice something or other, that took place, and it had like separate quests and things to do, like you can get titles and like pets and mounts and stuff like that. This is really fun. This is really cool, and I am glad that they're doing something like this. And I hope that like all the major holidays across the world are celebrated in some twisted way within Diablo. So that is very cool. Okay, so number 2, season 3 preview. I am really excited about this one. So the leaderboards, they're gonna have a new weekly dungeon called the Gauntlet, and basically this is, every class has its own separate leaderboard, so it changes every week. Whoever has the best run of their class, their name and their build will be posted in like this immortal kind of like a hall of remembrance or something like that, where you're going to see your name, you're going to see your build, the specifics of that build, and how you just completely crushed the dungeon that week. And it changes every week, and that is amazing. So that's it's like a small teaser of what to expect in season 3. And it sounds like during this campfire chat, they're going to be going into more detail about season 3 and what else to expect. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to hear more about season 3 and the other quality of life changes that might be coming our way. Okay, number 3, another big one, and this is really fun. So Diablo 4's first expansion was announced, and it's called the Vessel of Hatred. So that's going to continue the Mephisto line or storyline into very familiar Diablo 2 territory, and this is where I got very excited. It was leaked, so we kind of had an idea of what was coming, but just to see the official confirmation is fun. It's going to be in this lush tropical jungle location, which a lot of Diablo 2 fans, myself included, are familiar with. We knew it as Karast back in that game. So they're calling it something else. I forget the name of it, but it's basically going to be like another section of the Karast jungle area. And during the cinematic, it kind of went up and exposed like these Mayan-like temple type things, which, if you play Diablo 2 or Diablo 2 Resurrected, the Travancore was where a bunch of the priests, I think it was the Zagharum, got corrupted by Mephisto. Used to be like a holy order and stuff like that, and that's where all the dark deeds and stuff were taking place. And it's bloody. It's like this disgusting place of like sacrifice and stuff. And it's really cool. So it'll be awesome to see that location, as well as maybe other kind of temples and stuff like that. Okay, and then let's see. The last part of the summary is the first expansion will introduce a completely new character type for the Diablo franchise. A lot of people were kind of hoping for the Paladin. I was kind of hoping for that because it just felt like that's what the fans wanted, and keeping the fans happy typically means the longevity of like an ARPG goes for longer. However, there was a part of me that was really hoping that it would just be something totally different, and it sounds like that's exactly what we're getting. This was also leaked, so it wasn't a huge surprise, but it was kind of codenamed the Spiritborn. A lot of the theories online right now are revolving around the class that it's a hybrid of a monk or a completely different sect of the Crusader and the Paladin. Okay, guys, that's all I had, but it looks like that the stream is starting, so let's go.
Welcome to Blizzcon 2023. Wow, this is crazy. This is awesome, seeing so many people. Very, very different than our streaming studio back in the office for sure. But thank you all for joining us on a very special version of Diablo's Campfire Chat. We kicked off this program as a live stream, as you all know, and it's an amazing feeling to see us actually do this here in front of a live audience now at BlizzCon. We have some news to share with you, and before we get into it, I do want to welcome and learn more about our wonderful panelists here for today's Campfire Chat. So let's go right into it. Brent. Hi, everybody. This is your first. This is Brent's first time up here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Wardrobe.
I know.
Look, it's for a very good reason.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Green
Breaking
for
a little color tradition up here.
Green for Diablo.
Yeah, so my name is Brent Gibson. I'm an associate game director on Diablo 4. I was a part of the Vicarious Visions team that came together with Team 3 a couple years ago to make Diablo 4. And I'm really excited to be up here today to talk a little bit about the expansion coming up.
Yes, the expansion. Ooh.
Love you too.
Now, I know we have multiple teams, Brent,
Yes.
that are working on Diablo 4. So, and you yourself are going to be talking specifically about the expansion here today. So yeah, it's great to hear that, you know, we have multiple groups working on the game for Diablo 4.
But we're all one big team, which is the exciting part.
Yeah, very, very big team. And of course, you know, based off of community feedback and everything that we've heard, those groups are going to be working on seasons and upcoming items, and then of course the expansion that we have here. Next up, though, we actually have Tiffany, who's going to be talking here.
Actually,
do we have? No, we do.
Oh, hey, I'm Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany.
I was not pausing for applause. I'm just awkward. But this is my 14th BlizzCon. It's my 9th as an employee. I first attended as a part of the community in 2005, so it's really special to be up here. I've worked on the Diablo franchise for 12 years now, starting on Diablo 3 12 years ago, and then moving on to Diablo 4 for the past years. Brent and I actually unknowingly worked on the same game back in 2009, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. That game is awesome. So it's been such a thrill to work with him and a bunch of the others from the Albany office, again, on Diablo 4 for the past few years.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tiffany. We have Kaylee Calder here. Kaylee is actually a familiar face in the Diablo side. You may have seen her in some of the videos.
Yep.
For our seasons and everything. Kaylee?
Hi everybody, I'm Kaylee Calder, and I am one of the lead game producers on Diablo 4. Like Tiffany and a lot of our team, I have been working on Diablo for the last 10 years across both Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. This is my first time on stage at BlizzCon, so while I am so honored, thank you. I'm so excited to be here with all of you. I'm a little nervous, but it's so good to see everyone in person. And I'm really excited to talk to you all today about some changes coming to Season 2, some additions, and other future developments.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylee. And of course,
Joe
we have
Shelley.
Mr. Joe Shelley here, a very familiar face on all our Diablo 4 Campfire Chat.
So funny. It almost looked like he was falling asleep in the last
Joe,
Campfire Chat. He seems much
welcome
more
again.
Thank you.
energetic
Thank you, Adam,
today.
And thank all of you. I really want to thank all of you for being here and
lack of,
submitting questions. We're going to take questions at the end.
Sure.
And really, for all the feedback that you've given us throughout the launch of the game and Season 1, it's incredible to have a Campfire Chat, but with this huge array of other attendees at our campfire. So it's incredible.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Joe. And of course, I am Adam Fletcher. I'm the Director of Community for Diablo.
Thank you, Adam, for listening to us.
So weird with an audience. And I will be today's host and moderator. I want to thank you all again for taking the time to join us on this very special Diablo 4 Campfire Chat. And I do also want to give a huge call out to this amazing plush campfire
That's
that we
adorable.
did bring in for this.
That's adorable.
I joked it's got very soft lighting. Ha ha ha. Oh, there we go. First pun of the day. We're doing well. But to kick off activities, I know the dev team, they do actually have some news to follow up regarding yesterday's announcements. So let me actually pass it off to the team. So
let's go.
Brent?
Yeah, we're really excited to show the sneak peek for the next chapter of Hatred. We've been on pins and needles to share some of the information from the expansion for a very long time. And it's going to be taking us to a brand new place. And it's really cool because it's actually in contrast to that dark Gothic setting that we're used to seeing in the main game. We're going to go to some place that has a bit of a different flavor. So for those of you who are new to the franchise, it's going to be new, it's going to be fresh. But for some of you who have been with us all along, we're going to go take a trip down memory lane and actually go to a place that's a little nostalgic. So with that being said, let's take a look.
Yes. All right.
We have each played a part in what has happened here.
So this is the trailer they played at the opening.
You abdicated your choice to this child. And with every step she takes, I grow stronger.
So I think that's Travancore, I think.
No salvation in the light.
There we have it. It's so cool to see on the big stage. You know, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred, coming in late 2024.
Yeah.
I mean, Brent, what does an expansion mean for Diablo 4?
Well, first off, I want to talk a little bit about breaking the color convention. You've been giving me
I've got green shoes
all
on.
sorts of grief over my green jacket. I like the green. Yeah, so for us, expansions are important because it's a great opportunity to take one big cohesive step forward.
Yep.
You know, when it comes to continuing our
Big
dark
changes.
story, exploring the new region we're going to talk about today, or even new ways to play with new monsters and a new class, we want to make sure that all of these things go together in a really nice way. And I've been joking for a little bit about how this is kind of like making a really good burger, right? You want to make sure that you're pulling in all of the ingredients that you need so that when they all come together and you take one big bite, all those flavors are working together. And so for us, that cohesiveness is really important.
God damn,
So you
this-
say
I'm
burger,
glad I'm
there are
eating.
a lot of variations of burgers. There's like single burgers or like maybe a double from In-N-Out or something like that.
So hungry now.
Yeah. What,
You know,
have you-
coming from Albany, In-N-Out, I'm down. That's great.
So what kind of burger is this?
That's a good question. You know, I guess I look at it as kind of like a bacon barbecue burger with all the classic ingredients, but with like jalapenos, right? Like throw something in that's a little bit spicy, a little bit different.
And a
so you
little
have
bit green.
And a little bit green, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Apparently.
So yeah, we want to make sure that we have all the nice traditional ingredients that speak directly to the core of our audience, but we're also offering things that are new.
Okay,
Awesome.
show us.
Well, I
show us
know
more.
with Vessel of Hatred, a new expansion, there's going to be some story and lore kind of attached to it. And let's kind of talk a little bit more about story. What do you think, Tiffany?
Yeah, so when we last left off in the main campaign, Nerel was traveling
Spoilers.
south with the stone with Mephisto. He got himself trapped in there again, as you know he tends to do. She's been following the footsteps of a prophet of light, looking for a way to deal with this stone and the prime evil that's trapped within. Now, she's a really fascinating character because she's a child, but she's been through a ton of trauma, so spoilers if you haven't played the main campaign of Diablo. But here she is directly challenging the influence of a prime evil, something the Haradrim have always famously failed at. So for players that might be jumping into Diablo 4 for the first time with the Vessel of Hatred, they'll have the choice to either play through the main campaign or jump directly into the new chapter. There will be a recap in the game, so you'll have full context to all the events of Sanctuary that played out
Smart.
in the main campaign. So don't worry,
Very
you
good.
won't miss out on anything if you want to just see what's happening with Nerel and explore those jungles.
Okay.
All right, I love this picture. He's real creepy. It looks like he's coming out of a mud bath of sorts. So this is Mephisto. Now, he is my favorite prime evil. I think he's just a badass. If you don't know who he is the Lord of Hatred, and he is the father of Lilith. So I believe that makes him
Yeah, granddaddy of Mephisto.
granddaddy
here.
of
Yeah.
Sanctuary.
Grand Fisto?
Grand
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Sounds grouchy too.
So Mephisto did not intend to be trapped in the stone. Like I said, they're very bad at that. It tends to happen. So he's, as you heard in the trailer, every step of the way that Neyrelle is taking with him, he is pushing against her, constantly trying to unravel every single moment that they have together. It's in this next chapter in Vessel of Hatred, we're going to find out what is his fate with this stone and what's going to happen with Neyrelle.
Yeah, so with Vessel of Hatred, you know, we even saw it a little bit in the teaser. It seems like we're actually going to be, it's going to be taking us to a new place. I know you guys have actually mentioned Nahantu. Can you tell us a little bit more about Nahantu?
That's
Brett?
the location.
Yeah, so we're going to a whole new region called Nahantu. Now, for those of you guys who know the history of Sanctuary, you know that heading south actually means going to Torjan. When we started off with the expansion, we decided as a team to really think about how we're referencing cultures moving forward. And for those of you who may not know, the Torjan people are a real people. And they're an amazing culture. They have beautiful traditions. You should totally look it up. But for us as creatives, we want to make sure that we're always in a position where we're being inspired by, as opposed to lifting from. And so because of that, we decided to review some of our names and make some changes.
So how are we kind of doing this in game?
Okay.
So we've actually decided to fold it in creatively. So for those of the people who are outside of the region, you know, maybe you were from the Dry Steppes, you know this place as Torjan. But the people who are there know it as Nahantu. And so you're going to see that folded into the story in some really creative ways to give that name some power.
Awesome. I know we have a lot of cool
laughter.
art to actually show. Like here, right here, we're seeing kind of what looks to be like a river gate.
Yes, so everything starts here at the River Gate. We look at Nahantu as a place that's been closed off from Sanctuary. It's been closed off from all the things that have been going on with Lilith over the last several moments of our story. And so you can imagine this monolithic statue where the doors have been closed for the last several decades, and now they're open. And we're going to see what happens with Neyrelle as she passes through these gates. If you look at this next image, we like to look at the jungle as this place that is a wild and dangerous place. We also love the idea that it's a living, breathing character of its own. It has its own personality. It expresses itself in different ways throughout the game. And so this concept is a really
That's
good
cool.
example
I wish
of
that they would
where
actually
things
let us
from
see
the
it full
outside may
screen.
have come in, but the jungle's going to reclaim it, right? So you're going to see these branches pulling back some of the architecture that you would see
There
through
we
the
go.
region.
Better.
But for the things that have been there all along, it's going to live symbiotically with, and so you can watch the river flow through the structures of the area as well.
Okay.
You know what? This is actually one of my favorite concept pieces that we've made for the expansion so far. Because even though it's an environmental scene, it really just shows the depth and scale of the jungle, which is not really like a place we've ever gone to before within Diablo 4
Looks
so
like
far. And
the
it just
jungles
really
in
inspired the
Avatar.
team as well when they saw it.
Kinda cool.
Just
Yeah.
that feeling of like scale and age, I guess, is a good way to
Yeah.
describe it.
The idea that these roots are so old that they stretch across the chasms in the area. You can see there's a very small character in the middle of that branch.
very hard to see.
It creates a sense of scale that allows us to do a lot with the environment, right? So it's not just trees in the area. These trees are actually fixtures or structures of the place as well.
Cool. All right.
You know, we've seen a lot of environments, and I know there's a lot of also architecture here in Nahantu. So can you show us a little bit more about that as well?
Yeah, so this is a great image that starts to show how we wanted to integrate a lot of the natural features of the world in with the architecture. And so you can see how the river is flowing with and around this piece right
That
here.
looks really
All
cool.
of this starts from a place called Kurast. So for those of you who've been with us for a while, Kurast is
Nice.
an iconic place that sits in the heart of the jungle. And it's not just a town, it's not just the capital, it's a sprawling city. So you can imagine a lot of these structural elements popping up all over the place, spreading across the entire jungle. And this is just one piece that shows the potential of that. If you take a look at this next one, I love this.
That's cool.
This is one of my favorite
Yeah.
concepts of the
Very,
entire
very cool.
package. This is a perfect example on how we're folding in that living, breathing jungle into the architecture. I got to give a huge shout out to the team. The level of detail that we put into this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's
They
stunning.
pay attention to our environments just as
I like-
much as one of our characters.
I like
so all
how
the detail that we
it's
put into Lilith,
different
or
and
Inarius
green
is
and
the
kinda
same
more
amount
bright,
of
and
detail
at the same
as you
time
would see in a piece
dark.
like this. So
Almost
big
like
shout out to the
corroding.
team for what they can do.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I know you shared a little bit about like Kuros, and you know it's a very recognizable place, like or in the Diablo history. Like, can you get into a little bit more detail for us of like some of these maybe recognizable places that we'll kind of come across?
Yeah, I love to talk about these next few concepts here. So I was a big player of Diablo 2 myself, so you may
Travancore.
recognize some of these places. We keep talking
Travancore.
about bringing you back somewhere nostalgic. So we're going to start with the dock towns. So you can visit the original Kuras docks from D2
Awesome.
in Act 3. And through time, it's changed. It's been 72 years since the events of Diablo 2 in the world of Sanctuary. It has been 72 years in real life. So I'm excited to jump in there and see what the denizens have been up to, see if there's anybody that's still around from the past 72 years. And like Brent and Kaylee were saying earlier, a concept piece like this really gives me this incredible sense of scale in the world of Sanctuary, and I'm super excited to explore areas
Kuras
like
was
that.
a
We
very
know that
small
locations like this really set the tone
fishing
for
village
successfully
kinda thing,
delivering on that
with
nostalgia
the
and
temple in the
embracing
middle.
that legacy of the Diablo
Very curious
universe.
to know how big it has gotten.
So the capital Kuros is something that we've always wanted to know more about. So this is a clip that's actually from the teaser that we've showed you a couple times now. And this is that incredible ziggurat with really, really creepy Grandpa Mephisto talking
Yep,
over it.
yep.
So we've always wanted to know what's under the ziggurat. What's amazing about this is that for the dev team, this is one of the earliest sources of inspiration when we started working on the expansion. And so seeing it make all the way from original concept into the actual teaser that we showed this weekend is really exciting. So we've got one more really, really cool place to show you. So this is the temple city of Travancore, and it's where
Yes!
the Horadrim originally imprisoned Mephisto in his soul stone.
Yep.
It's deep inside Kuros, and I am so excited to go in there and see what's happened in the last 72 years. Joe, what do you think?
I hope I don't get slowed by hostile blizzards again.
Oh my god, yeah.
But it's going to be really
The
cool to
wizards
dive
are terrible.
under Travancore and sort of revisit that area. It's such a memorable area from D3.
Yeah, Travancore was super memorable. Act 3, everyone remembering as they're fighting the council there. So it's great that we can revisit that here in Vessel of Hatred. And of course, a big question I know that people have with Vessel of Hatred, does that mean a new class is coming? Brent, do you have any more
Spiritborn.
info that you can share
I'm
potentially?
sure a few of you have been on Reddit asking questions about the new class. It's the #1 question we've been getting all week. You know, when we started off, we were still making the main game. And I'm really proud of the fact that we delivered 5 classic classes, right? We got that great feeling of all of them spread around the campfire. It felt really, really good. And so when we're talking about the expansion, we had a decision to make. We're kind of at a crossroads of, do we do another classic, or
Fan
do we do
favorite.
something new?
Or something new.
And the team really thought about it hard, and we felt we have a responsibility to actually bring new things to Sanctuary.
Good.
Like, this
We
game
need
is
that.
really big. This world is very big.
Diablo 4 needs
we
to be
need
its own
continue
entity.
to broaden it, and so we made the choice to go with something new.
So you're saying new here, and we're seeing a lot of jungle environments, obviously.
Yes.
So does that for sure rules out something like the Witch Doctor?
Yes, that for sure rules
Yeah,
out.
it's absolutely a brand new class. It is not the Witch Doctor.
All right. We've been hearing a lot of like, it might still be the Witch Doctor. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we said new class. So awesome. That was great that we got to see kind of like, and get a little bit more information about Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. Again, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred is coming out in late 2024, we'll actually have more news next summer.
This is
about
also
Diablo
good
4.
because
This little page
it
for
gives them
green.
like what 3 or 4
Green.
seasons
Great.
to get the
Green.
game.
I'm glad you're color coordinated.
Perfect,
friends.
the way it should have been
But we do
released.
want to talk more about some of the other items that we talked about in the opening ceremony yesterday. And so Joe, I know, wants to talk a little bit about season 2 and what's coming forward.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've had, as I said here earlier when I welcomed all of you, we've had so much community feedback, and it's been incredible for us to be able to release season 2 and bring a lot of those changes to you. And I think we have,
Season 2,
I think we have a
for the most part, was
roadmap
a big
here.
win for them.
You can see here that on the Season of Blood, some of the things that we brought with Season of Blood. If you haven't played since launch or since Season 1, you'll be able to check out the new boss ladder, leveling, 40% faster leveling, right? The changes, thank you. That was all me, no. We have an incredibly talented team of system designers who care deeply about the player experience and the feeling of movement through the levels and being able to capture the objective of reaching level 100, right? And so that change was something that we thought was really important for Season 2. But we also changed things like the way that item power scales, right? So that as you fight more difficult monsters, you can get more powerful loot, including some of those uber uniques from Duriel.
Yes.
Yep.
And so many other quality of life changes. The mount, I think, is transformed. And
The mount was a
that's
big
not all we have in store for Season 2. Like we were talking about in the opening ceremonies, we made some announcements, and we want to get into more detail about those here today. And a little bit of a sneak peek at, you can see here, Season of, I'm going to say the orange text.
Yes, that's definitely a final name.
Yeah.
Final
Ship
name. No, we're not quite ready to release the season name, but we have a sneak peek of one of the features coming with leaderboards and the gauntlets. So we're really excited to talk about those. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, so
right.
we're going to kick things off with some updates to Season 2 that are coming really, really soon. Literally this coming Tuesday, November 7th, we are going to be adding new unique rings, which were called the Malignant Rings. Developing
Badass.
Seasons is an opportunity for us to look for ways to bring things back that you, our players, really enjoyed and really engaged with. It doesn't mean that we'll bring things back from every season, but we will look for opportunities, especially when the community is letting us know how much they enjoyed it, and also, we also had a lot of fun with these. This also is an opportunity for us to kind of revisit those powers because these are coming not just on to the season, but also to the Eternal realm. So these
Good.
powers you're about to see on these rings,
Very
we've
good.
tweaked them slightly so that they work with the other uniques in the game, but we feel they're really going to add something for each class and kind of continue on building their kit and that fantasy. You're going to be able to get these by defeating Varshan, so I hope everyone's been saving their materials. You do have a little bit of time to farm more if you didn't. So yeah, with that said, we're actually going to move to the next image, and we're going to take a look at these. So I originally was going to talk to Brent about his rogue, but when we started doing this, he saw the Barbarian ring and switched on me.
I'm sorry. I
Just
threw
the
whole
worst.
thing.
But so for our rogues out there, for those of you, use your subterfuge skills. It's going to spawn a decoy. It's going to taunt enemies, and then it's going to explode for a really nice amount of damage. Think you're going to have a lot of fun. Adam, this is for you and the rest of the sorcerers out there.
Yes, Ball Lightning crew. Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe this will, you'll try something a little different than just ball lightning.
Nah.
For the sorcerer, each unique element that
lightning
you
is
deal damage
amazing.
with is going to give you increased damage, and then dealing elemental damage again is just going to refresh that duration. So, sling fireballs, lightning ball as well, and keep increasing that damage. We have 3 more classes to take a look at. So next up now is the Barbarian. So for our Barbarians out there, when you use, there you are, I knew you were out there somewhere. When you next cast Hammer of the Ancients, Upheaval, or Death Blow, it's guaranteed to be a crit. And that crit's gonna deal bonus critical strike damage as well.
Sweet. Very nice.
Exactly. So hit them hard and hit them often, guys. And I definitely know there's a few druids out there, you guys who don't want to forget about you. Exactly.
Oh, Druid's got the loudest crowd
I
here.
know.
Yeah.
Represent druids. So for druids, when you are casting your ultimate skill, it is going to draw enemies in and deal a huge amount of damage based on your willpower. It will do that when you cast your ultimate and then 5 seconds after. And then lastly, the necromancer.
Necromancers
Of
rise
course.
up.
Look at that. They added
And
a
so
skeleton,
it's really
corpse
3
explosion,
necromancers
and
up
10
here,
knights.
because we're 3 of us are
Fucking
playing it this
amazing.
season. Total coincidence. So
That's great.
we all love this power. We know everybody else loved this. So we are bringing back that walking near your corpses is going to automatically activate one of the following skills, which is corpse tendrils, corpse explosion, or raised skeleton. So yeah, that is that's going to be the malignant rings. And
Thank
as you
you.
said, you're going to be able to get them from Killing Varshan starting on November 7th. So next week,
All right,
everybody.
Tuesday.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kaylee.
It's a good thing I got plenty of
We're super
Varshan
excited about
mats.
bringing in these malignant powers from
Yeah.
season 1. Thanks to community feedback and you guys actually wanting these powers back
Yeah.
in, we were able to get these in these new rings that will be coming out on Tuesday. And again, patch notes actually are going to be available on Diablo4.com for that patch immediately after this panel.
Nice.
So you guys can actually see what's in that update for players on Tuesday, which is awesome to see.
Very
so, but we do also have some more information to talk about.
Even more
Yes,
stuff.
we have
So
some more events taking place in early December. Kaylee is gonna jump right in.
I'll kick us off. Yeah, December 5th is our next update for season 2. And we've got some additional updates coming in, some quality of life things, and then something Joe is going to talk about. But I'm going to talk about some additional changes to the occultist. Chris mentioned this yesterday in opening ceremony. So for those of you who may not know, enchanting is what allows you to replace an affix on an item with another. And those that are familiar with it will notice when you go and visit from December 5th, there is a new view affix, possible affixes button. I can't remember it. Yeah, view possible affixes. And when you click on that, it's going to give you a list of the affixes that that one could roll into. So that way you're not kind of just blindly guessing and hoping that the one you've picked is going to give you. We think this update, along with the gold changes we have made, is really going to help everybody optimize their builds and continue to have fun in the end game. We have also heard
This is a
feedback
good one. Very
about
good.
affixes and how some of them aren't serving you in the ways you want. We do have plans to talk about both changes to affixes and itemization in the future, but we're not quite ready to talk about it right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's right. This is a really important change, and itemization is one of the, itemization and endgame are the two things that we're laser focused on right now.
Good.
We're gonna talk a little bit more about that right up here next with Avatar Zir.
Yeah, and you know, it's awesome to see these occultist changes because obviously community feedback has been, we've heard you guys like that it, you know, blindly choosing different affixes has been very, very difficult, but with the changes with the cost plus this will be much better. And this update, of course, hitting on December 5th.
Big
But
win.
other feedback that we've heard a lot about, and Joe knows this as well, has been about endgame. And so I know you wanted to talk a little bit about a new kind of endgame feature that's coming in season 2. So Joe, yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, so we want to add more endgame, and then we want to add some more endgame, and then
Some more?
we're gonna add more endgame.
Yeah, we're going to add some more after
That's
that.
right,
Okay,
that's
okay,
right,
yeah.
okay.
yeah.
Desperately needed.
And
Desperately needed.
in particular, permanent or evergreen endgame features that extend the challenges and reward opportunities from 50 to 100 and after you've reached 100. And so Avatar of Zir is a 100 plus new thing that we're trying here. This is a seasonal endgame event. So it's temporary, and we're really interested in paying attention to how all of you run through it and your feedback on it to, for the future of, you know, maybe we'll bring it back. We'll see how it goes. But you probably want to know more about it than just staring at this red portal, right? So, you know, we have a chart
Let's go.
that used to be on a napkin, but
It's very beautiful.
This is, when you work with a bunch of designers, they like to make these little
Okay.
flow charts. and then they hand them to you on a napkin, and they
Yeah.
go, can you make
Like
them
Fort
pretty so we
Sigil.
can
Yeah.
show them to
Yeah,
people?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
design your flowcharts.
Paint for life. But so you can see here
So
how
totally different
the
sigils.
flow of Avatar of Zero will work. After you complete the final step of the season journey, you'll be ready to face off against the Avatar. And this is a very, very difficult area. You're going to need to bring all of your skill, but also you're going to need to bring the very best builds.
Tier N.
Not every build is going to be able to succeed in Avatar Zero. And that's why it's positioned like after you've really you've defeated Echo of Lilith, you've defeated Duriel, you've got your Uber Uniques, and you're like, what's next? What's the next challenge, right? And the Avatar is meant to be that. So you're going to get a recipe for the first tier of Avatar Zero. When you complete that first tier, you're going to get a recipe for the next tier. And I want to state that there are 25 tiers of Avatar Zero.
Damn.
And that's fewer tiers than there are of Nightmare Dungeons. But each tier of the Avatar is much more difficult than the tier before. This is not the same as Nightmare Dungeons 70 to 71. And you're also going to get a ton of Paragon Glyph XP. So I know some people have expressed that it can be hard to level up all your glyphs through Nightmare Dungeons. That you're going to get so much from this event. And you're going to need it because you're going to want to level up this
50.
new unique glyph that you can get as a reward for completing the Avatar.
Yeah.
This glyph, the Tears of Blood, is tied to the event and is also
Plus
persists during the
50%
duration of the event.
bonus.
But it will be incredibly
All
useful for increasing your character power so that you can take on
shit.
those tougher tiers of the Avatar. You can see that it has a larger radius than other glyphs. It can grow even beyond that. It has multiplicative powers on it, and it can be leveled up to 200 times. So it is still a capped level, but it has a lot of
200?
progression in it.
Whoa. I thought it was just a max of 50.
Lots of stuff coming
That's
here.
insane.
December 5th. We got the Occultist updates and Avatar Zero, which is the end game that we just talked about. And that will run through the end of Season 2. So
I wonder if you get to
players
keep the
can
glyph
expect,
or if that's gone after
to
the
be able to
season.
go through that starting on December 5th, which is great to hear. But we also have even more events in December that we do want to talk about. One that's a little bit more festive. We mentioned it yesterday. Kaylee, I know you want to talk a little bit about Midwinter Blight.
Yeah, so for everyone that doesn't live in California, this time of year can be darkening and colder. You might get snow, lots of rain.
Like where I'm from.
Yeah, where you're from, basically. You're going to need the winter clothing. As you return to Fractured Peaks on December 12th, where the Midwinter Blight is taking place. As you return, you're going to find that it's been enveloped in a storm. It's freezing out the locals. It's eternally dark, and there are new horrors lurking, waiting to, make your lives and the inhabitants miserable. So yeah, I hope you brought some ice scrapers with you. Maybe help us get out here.
Yeah, we're working on a special Diablo ice scraper. I'm reaching out to John Mueller to see if we could get that marketed as soon
Yeah,
as we can.
definitely. Okay. So it's going to start in Kyovashad, and you're going to meet Gillian, a wandering bard, and he's here to try and bring some cheer and warmth, which you can see in the video as we go to that. And he is located in the Hibernal Square. And he's giving as well a warning of the storm and the terrors lurking
There's
within.
the red cloak.
And as you can see, this is a classic Diablo holiday space, decorated mostly in skulls, which we find very festive on the team, personally. Yes, and at its center we have the Totem of Midwinter, which plays a part in the event itself, but I'm not going to spoil that, and we'll kind of go into that. So what's happening outside Kyovashad? You're going to head back out into Fractured Peaks, you're going to explore the zone, and you're going to encounter some sinister snowmen, or what demons consider snowmen, that we're calling frigid husks, which, yes, they're beautiful.
Yes, very beautiful.
Let us see.
I will note.
Let us see.
And I don't actually know if Rod
that one on the
Ferguson, our
left.
GM, is here.
Jesus.
He is making me insert this wonderful pun.
It's all Rod.
He was like, as soon as he saw him, so Rod Ferguson, trademark pun, Frosty the Goat Man is what he likes to call
I
these.
thought you were meant to sing that.
Yeah,
No, we're not
no,
gonna. Okay,
I don't think
we're
gonna
nixing
sing
the
it, yeah.
singing. No singing. Okay. All right, so who's building these? I mentioned demons, so you're going to see some familiar faces, but they're under a new allegiance. These Blight Fiends have new tricks, new ways to terrorize and harass both you and the locals. And they're just generally causing mischief and terror under the orders of their leader, who is the Red-Cloaked Horror. He lives in the darkest corners of Fractured Peaks, emerging only with the storm. And he is going to, be really, really mad at anyone disrupting his plans, and he's going to try and make you dead. I think he looks really jolly, personally. I'm a big fan.
Again, another Rod Ferguson
yes,
pun.
here we go.
And this one I will sing.
Oh,
I will.
Okay.
Rudy
So
the
it's a
Red
reskin
Cloaked Terror.
Kaza.
Oh, God.
There we go. All
Oh,
right.
that's
Even
okay.
now, we're
But
done.
he doesn't even have a nose.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I know. Rod has the worst puns. We know
Okay,
that. So.
all right. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be heading out into Fractured Peaks. So we're going to bring up a video of some of the kind of gameplay a little bit here. You're going to encounter the Blight Fiends, having a
that's
really
funny.
jolly time.
They are
You know,
so
they
cute.
are. They
It's
are.
just the cutest little,
Yeah. Well, we're
need
going to
them
ruin their
as
day. Yes, exactly.
Snow globe of these.
Murder, destroy those snowmen. And you're going to engage in a number of events that are unique to Midwinter Blight, destroy Frigid Husk, defeat the Blight Fiends. And if you disrupt things enough, you may end up summoning the Red-Cloaked Horror himself, who's, as I said, very annoyed at you. And participating in these is going to give you resources that you can take back to the Hibernal Square to progress the events. And
And some rewards.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. The
Talk
rewards,
about the
'cause
rewards.
what's a festive event without presents and
clearly-
gifts and things
clearly
in general?
gonna be,
So we have
Christmas
a number
themed
of
cosmetics.
new cosmetic rewards that you'll be able to earn through participating on the event itself. So these are selection of weapons, and then we also have some really cool back trophies. I really like them. They've got bells, and there's some wreaths and lots of skulls, because we do like that here. We have a theme, and we're going to stick to it. So this starts on December 12th. Really hope everyone comes and slays with us.
There we
There
go.
you go. Got
the
one
Kaylee
in.
pun.
There we go. Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
They
So,
clapped for it. Good.
I was not expecting that, actually. But yeah, so yeah, that's Midwinter Blight.
Awesome. It's great to hear more information about all these updates coming in. And Midwinter Blight's great because community feedback has been, we've heard a lot of people wanting more cosmetic options. And so now you have the ability of actually unlocking some skulls, some bells, some holly that you can actually
What if you
incorporate
get,
to your character
undead reindeer
with
mount or
Midwinter
something?
Blight. But all this information
fun.
is going to be available again on a blog on Diablo4.com after the panel. And we're looking forward to getting all these updates in everyone's hands for Abattoir Azir, the Occultist updates, and of course Midwinter Blight. But moving on, we do have additional information to talk about Season of the Orange Text, as you called it.
That's right.
Joe.
Season 3.
So Joe, can you tell us a little bit more about what's coming there?
Yeah, so more endgame.
More in-game.
Yeah.
Great.
This is such a cool piece. This is relevant to the season, and I'm excited to find out what happens with this guy. But I want to talk a little bit about one part of season 3, and there will be many more parts of season 3. We're going to talk about these more in future campfire chats. But we wanted to talk a little bit about leaderboards, leaderboard-driven trials.
He wants it.
This guy wants
Okay,
it,
over
and so
there.
we're going to make it.
Thanks, Guy.
We weren't going to make it, but
All ancients.
And
that's-
so the way this is going to
where your
work
name
is
gets
when
recorded, I think.
Season 3 players reach World Tier 4, they're going to be able to compete in the Gauntlet, which is a fixed seed, non-linear dungeon where your mastery and your skill are going to be needed to achieve the highest scores. And those best scores are going to appear on the leaderboards. Now, every time you enter the Gauntlet, it's going to be exactly the same. That means the monsters and their positions, the layouts, the affixes. And
okay.
because it's nonlinear, you have some choices about how you're going to progress through to maximize your score.
Got it.
And of course, if you're playing in a party, you can choose like which direction each party member is going to go, and you really have an opportunity to optimize it. Loot will drop at the end of the timer.
Didn't know you can have a
So you don't have to worry about picking it up on the way. And as you're killing monsters and you're opening chests, you're going to get instead these pickups called proofs of might. They drop from all of this types of content, and you'll have a limited amount of time to collect as many as possible to maximize your score.
Okay.
So at the beginning of each week, a new gauntlet is going to replace the current one, and the leaderboards will reset. Now, this is an image of the solo barbarian ladder we can see here. I want to caution that it is in development content, so some things may change by the time we get to season 3. But we wanted to show
very
off,
clean.
to really
Looks
give all of you an idea, a visual idea of like how this is going to play out. And you can also see on this next image that we have a number of filters. So there are solo leaderboards for each class, as well as party leaderboards that vary with party size. Of course, hardcore leaderboards. And then when you look at the leaderboards, you'll be able to filter them globally or by platform. You can filter by your friends or your clan.
So I know I'm better than Brown.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm right here. You don't have to talk to me. If you played Barb, you would be able to.
ooh.
It's fair. Necros are better.
That's why we
all
have the
know
Barb leaderboard. So, I mentioned that these leaderboards will reset every week, but the very best players from each week's leaderboard are going to be recorded in the Hall of Ancients. This is a permanent leaderboard that will cement their legacy.
Cool.
And you don't just have to be the very top ranking on the leaderboards to participate in the gauntlet. All World Tier 4 players will be able to take their shot at participating in the gauntlet and progressing to the leaderboard.
So that means you don't have to be level 100 to participate at all.
No, you
okay.
don't. In fact, if you look at
Seals.
the this wonderful UI that we have up here, you can see that as you're leveling up and competing in the gauntlet and getting higher and higher
That's cool.
score, you'll
I like
earn
that.
these seals. And as you are earning these seals, you'll be able to climb up until eventually you get to the seal of the worthy, and then you'll be able to jump into the leaderboard. And you can show these off on your character profile in game.
Got it. Got it.
Awesome.
So you basically level up your
And
worthiness.
then I know with leaderboards, that coming in season 3, with all the information that we've been sharing here, again, I'm just reminding everyone that you can end up checking all this out on the site afterwards. We'll have all the artwork up there. And of course, all the information that we provided even on the expansion stuff will end up being there. And I just want to remind everyone in the community that thanks to you guys and the feedback that we've actually gotten in for Diablo 4, we've been able to, we were able to get all these amazing changes in. So providing that feedback through our forums, through social media, through Reddit, wherever you post at, let us know. Even here at Blizzcon, it's a huge help for the whole entire team. So thank you guys again. Thank you, Diablo community, for making the game a better experience for everyone. I know we do have some time for Q&A as well. We did leave a question box out in Hall A, which is the Diablo Hall here at BlizzCon. And then, of course, we asked on social media for questions through our fans that could not attend BlizzCon. But we grabbed the ones that seem to be pretty regular repeats specifically. So we'll kind of just jump right in on them. The first question, I think this one would be good for Kaylee. Will there be more intermediate progression dungeons and bosses between Tier 4 and Uber Lilith?
Yeah, so we had this question a bit, and the short answer is yes. We've already started doing this with the boss ladder, Uber Duriel, and we're looking for even more opportunities with which to give everybody things to tackle as they're working their way towards Uber Lilith, as well as, things for people to pursue once they defeat Uber Lilith. So yes, and as we develop those, we will share more information, probably in more campfire chats or on Diablo4.com.
Good.
Awesome.
Very
Thank you, Kaylee. This one's an expansion question. So, Brent, I will give this over to you. Will there be a season journey when expansion launches?
Good point.
Yeah, we know we have a large community with players who like to play in a bunch of different styles. So when Vessel of Hatred launches, we're going to have stuff for Eternal players. We're going to have seasonal content. We're going to have people who want to continue to play vanilla, people who want to jump into the expansion. Basically, we're going to have something for everybody to have fun with.
Cool. Thank you, Brent.
So it sounds like they're going to be
Tiffany,
releasing a season.
This one for
on
you.
this launch.
Will we have a system to save and switch between builds? A very popular question.
Very popular question.
So the reason Adam says this is a great question for me is because I ask Joe this all the time. It's something I'm also very, very passionate, myself and lots of the development team,
So
and
Diablo
lots of the
3
community
had
is very
this.
passionate about.
It's an armory
For
that
those of
you
you that played Diablo 3,
quick swap
are
out
very
your
familiar
build.
with the armory. This is something that we brought to the game in patch 2.5. And so we've been talking about it for a very long time. There's so many different things, so many activities, like so much room for activities in Sanctuary, and so many different things to be doing, whether you're playing by yourself, playing with a group, PvP, et cetera, et cetera. There's Paragon board customization, there's build customization.
Yeah. Get to the point.
There's outfit customization.
Let us know if we can save
what
our
gear
builds
you're wearing.
in quick
So
swap.
we want to be able to have an easy way to switch between those, so you can keep playing and keep, min-maxing all of your experiences while you're in the game. So we have nothing to announce in terms of when it's coming, but it's something that we're talking about all the time and hoping to bring to Diablo 4 as soon as we possibly can.
All right.
Awesome. I know it's a thing that a lot of people in the community have been asking for, and being able to switch between different builds and everything and have that saved. It's something that the team most definitely is working on. Next question we have is from someone who's actually attending here at BlizzCon and is actually a content creator, was in our opening ceremony as well.
In the opening ceremony
was
reel.
from Don the Crown, and I think he actually
Don.
made like a
Yes.
decision to come to BlizzCon like 24 hours before BlizzCon
Oh,
started.
wow. So he could be here right now.
He could be here right
I just
now.
really
but
wanted to ask this question.
yes, exactly. But I will say this question also came from a lot of people. But Don the Crown asked, do you intend to add more sources of living steel to the game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that grinning demon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's, that particular summoning material, we've certainly heard and experienced doing Helltides feels much more stingy than the other summoning materials. And so we want to make some improvements there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so expect improvements coming down the pipe for that.
Because basically the Helltides are
And by the
so
way,
much
I
more
just want to
boring
thank everyone for
than
not putting your names
the
in
Blood
box,
Harvests.
Because I would have completely screwed up half the
So
names
no
in
one
there,
wants to go
as I
to
normally
Helltides
do.
anymore,
So
which
I
is
appreciate people who do not put their names on there. You're the best. Last thing I need to do is butcher that in front of like 5,000 people. Will the expansion feature a group finder or global chats? As social features, I know we've heard a lot of questions about. Brent?
Yeah. Social's a really big part of the game, and we see what everybody's doing with how they're leveraging trade chat to kind of work around some things. Our social team finds this incredibly important, right? Like, we got a lot of different ways to play the game, and we want to make sure that all of your communities can find each other and come together. And so we actually have to really get some tools in there to get to that point where everybody has a really smooth social experience. And so our goal is to make sure that we get as many of those tools in place before we actually get to the expansion.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I really
Good.
want to make a special call out to, we have an entire part of our team who are focused on social and the player experience, and they are so dedicated and so enthusiastic and are just amazing people to work with, and they're paying attention to the things that everybody's talking about and need and trying to figure out the best plan to get those kind of things to you in the best time frame.
Awesome. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Kaylee. And then we have a kind of a last question here. This is from Knox, wherever you are here at BlizzCon. What are your plans? There we go.
There he
We
is.
found him. What are your plans for itemization
Yeah.
moving forward?
It needs to be.
Very, very popular question.
Right.
The question.
The question.
The question for Joe Shelley.
Yes.
Do we have a panel after this, or? No, this is a very serious and important question, right? And while we're not ready to share all of the plans for itemization that we have going forward, the team is working on the problems that we see with itemization right now, right? I think I was watching, was a Carbot video, I think,
Oh, yeah.
recently. And
Shout out to Carbot. Love his
you
anime.
get the character gets 2 items, and they're trying to compare it, and pulls out his sort of monocle, and he's going through it. It's too difficult right now to compare items.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time.
It really is.
And we want to make that better. We also there are some affixes that are very conditional or have several layers of conditionality. Sometimes this gets, shorthand for this is a damage on Tuesdays, right? Like, yeah, really good on, it's a couple days from now, it'll be incredible. But we think that there are too many of those that have really complicated conditional effects, and it's really hard to bring those into builds, and it contributes, as Kaylee was saying earlier, to a feeling of having it be very difficult to customize your items in a way that lets you get exactly the affixes that you want on your build.
Get
So that's
the build you're looking for, you know?
That's right.
exactly. So that's something that we want to review. We also know that when you are optimizing your gear, the goal of that is to have the effect be that you feel that power. So you are customizing your gear, and then you go out and you want to be able to visually tell immediately, like, yeah, this made a difference, right? And then, of course, we also want to add more ways to modify items and add on additional complexity to items, sort of through. This is often talked about in the context of crafting, right? Better ways to modify items.
Yeah, crafting is kind of lame right now.
Awesome. Well,
sure.
I know I'm going to throw another question at you, though, because there has been a lot of talk about the amount of aspects that are within the game.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, do we have any plans on what we like for aspects specifically?
Yeah, so it's going to take us a little bit of time to get this right. Probably won't see it in season 3, but soon after that. But we want to get the aspect crystals out of your inventory and into the Codex of Power.
Yes.
I think they agree with that. I think
Yes.
they quite like that.
I'm glad. We're starting work on it right now, so we'd have to go back. But no, the Codex of Power is really a great repository of all of the legendary powers, or it should be, we think. And there are lots of opportunities for upgrading it or bringing affixes that you found, and we just really want to make that better. Yeah.
Great, that's awesome to hear. I know
That's
a lot of people are
amazing
excited
news.
to
Very good.
have an area where all their aspects are, as opposed to where we are right now with collecting everything with our aspects and having your inventory kind of running back to the stash and putting them all in there and everything. So there we have it for the Diablo 4 Campfire Chat. We do have a lot of awesome things coming down the road, and I do want to remind everyone that this Tuesday we have an update with 5 new Malignant rings that will be hitting the game. You can farm Varshan to earn those rings specifically, and those rings are in Eternal and Seasonal, which is great to hear as well. And then, of course, on December 5th, we have our Abattoir of Zir.
Yeah.
Google Abattoir if you don't know what that is. I did.
It's a slaughterhouse.
It's a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
Cultured Adam. And then we also have Cultist updates hitting on December 5th. And of course, December 12th, we have our first holiday event hitting Diablo 4, which is Midwinter Blight, where players can actually end up earning a ton of different new cosmetics. Dress your character up in some bells, some wreaths, holly, etc.
Get very festive. Yeah.
Exactly, get very festive. And I did want to remind everyone that we do have a Diablo Blood drive that is currently running. If you go to DiabloBloodHarvest.com,
This is
currently
pretty
the
cool.
community is at 73% to the
wow.
goal. Once we hit 100%,
Good job, everyone.
everyone
This is
gets
actually really
Yeah.
cool.
rewards. Good job.
Great cause as well.
It's for an awesome cause. We're aiming to have 666 quarts of blood
Of
donated.
course we
So
are.
of course, gotta stay with the theme. So make sure to check out the site for more information. Panelists,
Yeah,
do
we
you
just
have any
wanted to
parting
say
words?
thank you for coming to Blizzcon and watching online. We love Diablo and we love you.
I can't wait to get back in front of everybody here and have more to talk about with the expansion in the future. So I look forward to seeing you all in Sanctuary.
Excellent.
I just want to thank all of our passionate players, and we listen to everything that you're saying, and it's been so awesome to reveal Season of Blood and be able to bring some of those changes back, and then to come here and to be able to tell you about all the things that are more things that are coming in Season of Blood and in future seasons and in Vessel of Hatred.
Yeah, Drew. Yeah, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for making this an amazing experience to be up here. Also, hi, Mum and Dad, surprise. Yes, I'm on the panel. I didn't tell them. But I mostly want to call out our amazing team, who many of them are working here at Blizzcon, who you may have met down in Hall A, they're doing signing, and everyone who's is actually still back at the office, or, well, would be. It's the weekend, they're not working. But everyone
Aren't they,
across
though? Aren't they?
all the spaces that we have and across the team in general.
Awesome. And I just want to thank everyone here. Thank you guys, everyone here, everyone at home. We hope you guys have had a wonderful BlizzCon. We're so happy to have you here, and we hope you guys come see us while BlizzCon's still going on for the rest of the day. And we'll see you in the next Campfire Chat. We'll have more Campfire Chats this year. And have an amazing BlizzCon, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you in Sanctuary.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that was pretty much what we expected. You know, I am very happy with a lot of the changes that are upcoming. It was really cool to see more of the details about the leaderboards. That's awesome. A little bit more detail about the first expansion. Really cool. I was kind of hoping to see what that new class was, but I guess they got to save, you know, some of their stuff for future Campfire Chats, and obviously this kind of setup. So that's cool. But, you know, I feel like, so a lot of people were kind of getting really down on Diablo 4 about a month after it came out. And then, you know, for those of you that are even remotely familiar with it, you know, they had the patch that basically nerfed everything, which really just made people upset. So they were really hoping, the community was really hoping that they would be doing better. And I personally feel like they are making really good steps of making sure that this game is going to be a living, breathing game that we're going to be playing for 10 plus years. That's really important to me. That's why I kept coming back to Diablo 3. Even though it was more or less like the same thing over and over again, they definitely got very creative with it, and they definitely showed like what they could do for the franchise. And Diablo 4, it looks like they're really just like, you know, really honing in on that skill. And I'm really, really, really appreciative of that for them listening to us as the community and making these changes. So yeah, I'm very excited. I was not as down on Diablo 4 as a lot of people. So I'm hoping that those people are getting happier. I'm getting ecstatic. I'm going to have a lot more content and stuff to play with. So, so everyone, thank you so much for, you know, joining. Thank you for watching with me. You know, please follow, like, subscribe, comment, share. You know, we really just want to create a fun community of casual players. Don't have to be a dad, don't have to be a mom. You can just be a casual player, and that's totally fine with us. We just want to have a really nice community. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch with me, and we will be seeing you guys again very soon. Take care.